What can 50,000 website forms tell us about conversion? Well, a lot actually. Along with some data from marketing industry leaders, we now have some very unexpected insights about what actually works in website form optimization. And the best part is that even a few small tweaks to your website forms can dramatically increase your leads with minimal effort. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the surprising patterns that came out of these massive studies. And at the end of the video, I'm going to answer the question that is on everybody's minds about website forms, which is how many form fields convert the best? And spoiler alert, it's probably not what you think. So in this video, we're going to cover number 1, form placement. Where should your form live on your page? Number 2, form copy, creating compelling headlines and descriptions. Number 3, button text, including the one word you should never use and what to use instead. And number 4, layout and usability. So we'll go over some design rules for maximum conversions. Number 5, we'll talk about multi-step forms and the psychology behind their 86% conversion boost. And last, we'll talk about how many form fields you should include and the optimal number for different types of goals. Hey guys, I am Robin, your B2B marketing bestie. I am a former leader at one of the top B2B website agencies, and I have helped hundreds of brands optimize their websites and increase leads. So most people spend a lot of time creating content on their website, as they should, but then when it comes to their forms, they just slap up some form fields and assume that everyone's just going to fill it out when they get there. But the truth is, your website form is the final hurdle in your website visitor's journey. They have made it this far, so now is not the time to include any barriers that might prevent them from filling out that form. And according to research by Zuko, only 9% of people who visit a contact form actually submit it. That means that 91% of the people who land on your website form leave without ever filling it out. And that is a lot of money that you're leaving on the table. Okay, so what's causing this? Well, it basically comes down to two things. So friction is a big one. And friction is anything that slows the user down, frustrates them, or makes them second guess filling out that form. And then the next one is lack of clarity or motivation. So if it's not clear what they're getting, or if the form doesn't feel like it's worth their time, then they will just bounce. Okay, so now we want to know, how do we fix it? Okay, so the first thing you want to think about is form placement. And you want to place your forms at the top of the page. So if your form is buried at the bottom of the page or hidden behind tabs, or the user has to scroll a whole bunch to get to it, then you're creating friction. So you want to put your form above the fold, meaning that the user sees it instantly when they land on the page without having to scroll. Now, why is this? Well, people are impatient. And the harder you make them work, then the more likely it is they're going to leave without finishing your form. All right, now let's talk about the copy on your website form. And this is not the time to just throw up some basic copy like fill out the form below. So now that you've got them to the form, you got to keep selling it. So make your headline compelling and tell them what they're getting. So something like start your free trial today, or get your free guide to payroll software, or whatever it is that you provide. Your form should sell itself, just like the rest of your website. Now let's talk about form buttons. Speaking of copy, do you know that there's one word that you definitely want to change on your form? It is submit. Now I know it seems pretty standard, but HubSpot analyzed 40,000 website forms and found that forms that have a button that says submit converts worse than forms that have buttons that clearly describe the action. The word submit is just very dry and lacks personality, and it's almost like you're interacting with somebody at the DMV whose soul left their body in like 1997, but their body keeps showing up to work, barely. So the best performing CTA buttons contain action words like get or try or reserve, as opposed to submit or its equally boring counterpart, enter. So here are some alternatives you can use on your CTA buttons in place of submit. Book a demo, sign up now, or even simply contact us. And a final tip on your button is to make sure that it's in a contrasting color to the rest of your site so it stands out. Now let's talk about layout and usability. Even if your form is in the right place and has enticing copy, bad design can still kill conversions. So here's some quick form design rules. First, you want to place the form labels above the field and not inside them, because placeholder text disappears when users start typing, and this can be annoying. And next, you want to have only 1 or 2 maximum fields per row, and 2 only if they're short. And this is going to make your form look less cluttered. And next, you want to match the field size to the expected input. So a phone number field shouldn't be the same length as a comment box, unless you want to hear someone's life story. The thing is that bad form design frustrates users, and frustrated users don't convert. Now, before I reveal the number of fields that do the best at converting, let's talk a little bit about this advanced tactic, which is multi-step forms, and these are gaining in popularity. And this one may sound shocking, but only 40% of marketers use multi-step forms, but studies have shown that they can increase conversion rates by 86%. And why is this? It's psychology. When users see a short first step, just like name and email, then they feel like it's not that big of a commitment and they're more likely to start. And then once they've started, they're more likely to finish it due to the commitment principle, which means that our brains like to finish what we've started. So if your form has more than 6 fields, then having a multi-step form could be the key to getting more submissions. And if you're interested in marketing psychology and how it affects your website, I actually did a whole video on that recently. So I'm going to link it up here, and I'll link it down below in the description box too, so you can check that out. And then please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. This really helps me to continue to create free B2B marketing videos that will help you grow your business. And then leave me a comment below and let me know what challenges you're having with your forms, or if you think your forms could do better. All right, now let's talk about the biggest question that everybody always has when it comes to forms, which is how many form fields should you include? Now, many companies want to capture every detail on their forms because it helps their sales team, but they don't think about how this impacts conversions. It's kind of like going on a first date and then asking that person for their social security number, childhood trauma, and their 5-year plan. Yeah, maybe ease into that a bit. The thing is, most buyers are just turned off by these overly long forms, and they take one look at it and they just don't even want to deal with it. However, there actually is also such a thing as too short a form. Factor AI analyzed 50,000 demo request forms of B2B SaaS firms and found that 4 to 6 fields converted the best at 51%, compared to 41% for 1 to 3 fields and 31% for more than 7 fields. So shorter isn't always better, but there's a balancing act there. Too many fields lead to friction and people give up. But with too few fields, leads may be low quality and people filling it out might be skeptical. So what is the solution? Well, you should tailor the length of your form to the offer or the ask. And as a general rule, forms that are trying to capture top of the funnel leads can be shorter, whereas forms that are trying to capture bottom of the funnel leads can be a little longer. So for example, for newsletter signups, you can keep that short, like name and email only. And then ebook downloads, you can add a couple more fields, like maybe company name and title. And then consultation or demo requests, a little bit longer is fine because people at this stage expect to give more information, so they're more willing to give that up. But still keep in mind that sweet spot that caps out at about 6. Now remember, optimizing your forms is just one piece of the conversion puzzle. To get people to your forms in the first place, you need to have great content, especially on your homepage. So if you want to know what makes a high converting B2B homepage, check out my video here on the 6 must-haves for your homepage that will drive more visitors to these newly optimized forms. And I'll see you over there.